Welcome to Navigating the Shift, where we will discuss the transformative journey of Phoenix Industries brand. To help us guide on this journey, it's my pleasure to introduce Anam Omar, Executive Director, and Mark Costello, Design Lead from Phoenix Industries. Please give them a warm welcome. With Mark's design prowess and Anam's strategic leadership, they have reshaped the company's identity and catapulted it into the global stage. Welcome, Anam and Mark. No worries. So to start things off, Anam, can you describe your role at Phoenix?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon again. I've been the Executive Director at Phoenix Industries since 2020, so almost like 2.5 years. The role is to be in charge of the overall business since then, but the favorite part of my role is what we're probably going to discuss today, which is the reinventing of the product line that we have, as well as taking the brand outside of Sri Lanka and our products.
It's lovely to hear. How do you bring your skills in strategic leadership to propel the brand of Phoenix into new heights?
Don't really know how to answer that, but I'm super passionate about what I do, so I think that's what drives everything that I do day to day. I studied mechanical engineering and I've been in consulting for like barely 2 years, so that's the little bit of like managerial experience I have. Before, did a few other jobs in between before starting at Phoenix. But I guess that background and loving what I do is the skill set that I bring to the table.
Right. So in your background as a mechanical engineer, were you always into inventing and innovating?
I like to think so. Actually, I found out about product design when I was studying mechanical engineering. And then I kind of became obsessed with it. But I'm not a designer, so the person next to me is the expert in that field.
Right.
So I just decided to surround myself with creative people. So that's kind of how I ended up where I am today. Yeah.
And Mark, how do you describe your role at Phoenix?
My role at Phoenix, I joined Phoenix in 2019.
Yeah.
Okay. Started the journey with Anam's project also, and proposal there. But have started thinking a bit on the brand. It's difficult to separate the brand and the product, right? So the role there, my role there is not just the product, of course, it's also to think a bit more about how we are showing the product to the market, right? So all goes together. So when you're thinking on the product, then you're thinking on how should be explained that product to the society, etc. So thinking a bit in all, product, how to explain about the product, the ways to explain about the product, all these things.
I see.
That's almost the role.
Right. And as someone who comes from a versatile product design background, what would you describe your design philosophy to be?
In terms of the product design, 100%, the products that you can see from Phoenix, philosophy, it's a bit European philosophy. It's always thinking and less is more.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
so that's the main thing.
Yeah.
So like you guys have here, on the building,
Yes.
It's simple, it's minimal, and it's clean. So that's a bit the philosophy. Second thing, of course, have to bring something new to the society, because as a designers and as a company we have a social commitment, not just to create a product. Okay, the product is there and nothing is going to happen surrounding the product. No, product is going to be in a place that people is going to use it. Then very important not to think just on the form and the function, also on the social impact and the social environment surrounding that product.
Right.
So that's a bit my philosophy.
I think your philosophy is very much evident in these tools you're sitting on, very minimal and very out of the box, right, guys? So moving on to your collaborative efforts, how do you think your efforts in collaboration have helped Phoenix become an industry leader?
So I think if Mark and I weren't on the same page, we wouldn't be able to achieve any of the things that we've managed to achieve today. So that has been actually one of the most joyful parts in the role, is to work with an expert like Mark to really bring something new to the market. So when Mark and I were first talking about him potentially joining Phoenix, he came for a trial for 2 weeks to Sri Lanka, and there was a mess up in the admin hotel booking, and he was booked at probably one of the dodgiest. I'm not going to say the hotel's name, but it was, even I wouldn't wish that hotel upon anybody. And when I found out that he had checked in and the airport had taken him to that hotel, I had a heart attack, and I was like, this is never going to work. Mark is never going to come to Sri Lanka. But yeah, Mark, we overcame that hurdle. So the 2 weeks went well. We did a design for a kid's toothbrush, which the market still hasn't seen, but one day we'll see it, I'm sure, Mark. But yeah, things went from there. I think we got along really well, and felt like we were on the same page in terms of the overall vision that we had for the company.
Right.
So I think we collaborate well together.
Yes,
So
of
that's-
course,
yeah.
young
Yeah.
project,
Yeah.
lead from a young person, no?
Right.
So this also engage me a lot, no? So that's what we have now, and also that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking that it's going to be possible. That's a strategy, or that's my dream. Then I felt, okay, that's a really interesting thing. If I can bring something to this project, no?
Yeah.
That and as in mind and explain me, no? So yeah, that was
Yeah, and
first
it's-
approach.
to add to that, it's really easy to work with you, Mark, because Mark's previous experience has been bringing products to the market. So generally the designers we were working with before, the project would end on the paper, even with me. Like I would dream up some crazy product and it would never get manufactured. But Mark had experience taking product to market, and so that technical knowledge that Mark has really helps with actually realizing the product.
Right.
That yeah. So he's able to converse really well with the engineers, and I'm an engineer as well. So that is a good mix.
I see.
Yeah.
So between two of you, who is the person who brings an idea first to the table?
Yeah.
This is a part of long conversations.
Yeah.
So there are multiple factors on top of the table, and I mean all starts on these conversations, thinking on many different things, and then okay, we'll pick this is discard this, going to take this yes, this no. So it's always a fluent conversation between us, and the sense that okay, you have to think what's the next product or what's the next thing we are going to do, but it's never just in one side, of course.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always a part of a long feedback,
Of course.
meetings and talking. Yes.
Even when we disagree, it's quite passionate.
Right.
Because we are both coming from really wanting it to coming from the same place, but not able to converge. That also happens. But overall, I think net effect is very positive.
Right. Actually, I was going to touch on, working at such a high level in an industry, when disagreements happen, or when an idea of one of you thinks this idea is not good, but the other one thinks is really good, how do you navigate that? Because in a workplace, especially when working with other people, that's something that happens all the time, especially in design. So how do you two navigate that?
When it comes to product and brand, Mark's call is final. I think everyone we've been working with, even at AOD leading up to this event, knows that it's Mark's call. So generally it stops with you, Mark. Is that correct? I think, yeah, I tried not to get too involved if I have a very differing opinion, but in general it's Mark's call.
I'm really happy to take this risk also,
Yeah.
no? Because
Yeah.
I know that in this sense, no, and I'm confident on the things that used to propose or used to do also as a result of these conversations, no? But execution or the things that you can see may work, may not work, but
Yeah.
good to have that confidence to bring it up and to pop it, no?
Right.
And to do it, yeah.
I don't want to take this to a downer, but in the case where one of the products you guys have dreamt of, you really want to do, it doesn't work out, there is no market impact, Or how was the process when that happens?
In this case, this happens, of course, when you have a big range of products. And with all the things you are doing, it's impossible always to spot on. No? So from 10 products, maybe 3, 4 will fail. But the important thing is, at the end of the day, is the conclusion. And I mean, what has happened there? Why? No? Maybe we went so far. Maybe the product doesn't meet the expectations of this market or certain market. So it's to be more analytic on the reasons why. And then try to do it better on the next time.
Right.
But there is a risk there, of course. There is a risk on creativity. Not all the people can understand what you are doing. Not all the people will like what you are doing and the way you are doing it. But that's a risk that you as a creator or as a company, because in the end it's the same thing, no? You are bringing something new, you have to take.
Yes.
You have to take. And then the rest is on the street, as I used to say, no?
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So on a journey of this magnitude, I'm sure you guys have come across a lot of challenges. Now, without going into the specifics, what are some of those challenges you guys have to overcome?
There have been a lot of challenges, and I think speaking specifically about the product and brand upgrade, it has been sort of aligning the rest of the company and the manufacturing setup to live up to that same level of expectation, because we are still a company that is 99% catering to the local market. We had 0 exports. Now 1% of our companies the turnover is from exports. But even those orders, we are used to saying, okay, if Arpico needs a delivery tomorrow, we can even send it day after tomorrow, that's okay. Right. It's not the end of the world. But taking in that learning has been quite a big shift for the rest of the team. Yes. If you take operations, engineering, so even these products, if there's a slight damage here or a little bit of dust, that's okay because it's going to all over Sri Lanka. We are a mass market brand here. So I think that has been one of the biggest challenges in this journey for me.
Right.
Go ahead, Mark. I'm sure you'll have a lot more to add.
No, challenges, just in the sense of the design, colors, branding, etc. There are a few there in the sense that when I arrived, for example, looking into the furniture, all the furniture to me at that time, 5 years ago, looks like the same.
Yeah.
Same kind of colors, same kind of finishes, etc. So challenge here is to bring something in a place that people is not 100% used to that difference. Okay, so here there is a bit of a challenge. That is true, and also on the way to explain the company, no? Because when we take this approach to show our products more on the real life, sometimes people don't have this in mind. No? They want to see a chair, for example, like in a podium with the super light on the top, no? But not with a street person sitting on that chair. So yeah, have to broken
right.
some walls there, but
yeah.
I think that that's the same thing. No? That's the nice thing in our job.
I see. So speaking of challenges, at least in locally, transforming a brand as big as Phoenix that has been there for so many years in the local market, not many companies would go on to do that. Why did Phoenix decide to take this leap? Because I'm sure if you guys are watching local TV, you have seen a lot of this. There's this one really good Phoenix side of this transformation of one family from like when the couple gets married until their like kids go to school. It's a very powerful message, right? Like I haven't seen something like that ever done in Sri Lanka. What made Phoenix take those leaps into taking that risk, like you said before?
You can start with that, Mark. It's going back to what Mark said in the beginning. It's that whenever we launch a new product, we think about how do we market it to the people as well. And we are always trying to do something different. And really, the brainchild of all of that is Mark. So you should speak to that, Mark.
product always have a story to explain, no? So it is different that advertisement, like you said, no? Like, yes, it is. It is different, but in the end of the day, on that product, for example, we want to how to explain in a better way that you can do multiple things with one product, no? So, okay, we can explain this related to a life, to one life. One life is related to Phoenix Design for Life. Always, all it's linked there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, and I think the question you asked about what makes us take those leaps is when I first joined Phoenix, I think it was maybe 3 years before you, no, 1 or 2 years before you joined, Mark, yeah. When I also looked at the products, our dream from day one, I think it's a family business and my uncle was running it at that time. He said, I want people to come into the store and ask for a Phoenix chair. Now they don't do that. They're looking for a cheap option and they want a plastic chair. That's how they end up buying Phoenix. So that was the dream that like I caught after working with him. So when I was going to the market also, I myself couldn't tell the difference between one of our chairs and a competitor brand. So that's how the decision to always do something different. Some of them fail, some of them have done well, but it's the guiding principle is to, one of our brand values is to push boundaries and take risks. So everything stems from there as well.
Right.
This is too direct and too risky sometimes, no? If you think on the position, no, of the designer,
Yeah.
etc. But in the end of the day, you as a designer, you have a story to tell, no? Then this story may like or may not, but you should try to push it, and then yes, and then keep pushing.
I think it's extremely interesting to have the ability to give something inanimate like furniture a story of its own. I think that's extremely commendable to your creative efforts. So I think that's really nice, especially in this market of, complete tradition and everything. Love the disruption. Moving on, we talked about the challenges. What have been the milestone what have been some of the milestones on this journey?
The exports have been a huge milestone. So I touched on it earlier. 2 years ago, we had 0 exports virtually, but this year we'll probably do 500,000. I've been saying $500,000 US rather than 500,000, and hopefully next year our budget is for $1 million in export turnover, which is still very small. But it's been a huge milestone for Phoenix because for the last 40 plus years it's been primarily a local market business. Another milestone was on the ad that you mentioned. Was very happy to hear that you've seen it as well. We won a gold award for that. So at the Summit Creative Awards in USA. Those are the 2 that are coming to mind, but every time we launch a new product feels like a milestone to me. So we've started doing annual launches as well. Yeah, a lot of small moments like that. The showrooms, Mark, maybe you want to add to that. Yeah.
Yeah, milestones. If you want to talk on the design part, for example, a milestone there is to keep bringing different things, of course, for the export market, but of 100% for the Sri Lankan market, no? Which, as you said, no, we need to push a lot there and to bring many new things and also open young generations, no? Also, if they open, and then these products will arrive also, and slowly, no? Hopefully, this will be something good for all the, as I said, all the society, no? To have at least the option to choose something different. Then, if you want or not, it's on you, no? But at least you have something there which is different.
Yeah.
Milestone also, if you want to say in terms of the branding, you are going to see every year something different from Phoenix. Then this is also a milestone to launch something that people will feel that, okay, this is different, this is nice, this is another way to explain it, and it's catching me. So this is in the sense of the product design milestone. And of course, try to increase a bit the range, no? Because there are many products that still we feel that missing in Sri Lanka market, especially. Then bring it to the market, of course. Yes, that's another milestone.
In this transformative journey, not only in branding but in your product line as well, how important has sustainability been to you? Because plastic products always get a bad reputation. So how do you challenge that?
So the example to that is, I think 3 years ago when we started doing the photo shoots, we had earmarked so many nice villas and cafes and all where we thought our products would look so nice, and a few of them turned us down saying, it's Phoenix, it's plastic, it's not within our ethos, so it's a straight up no. But the next year we were able to shoot there, so that's a small win internally. Because I think they were thinking about it from that conventional plastics is bad mindset. But if you look at Phoenix overall, about 50% of it is the chairs and the storage boxes and all of the products that are direct to consumer. 30% of it is probably the bad plastic, which is still, we don't do the PET bottles. We decided about 5 years ago that we're not going to invest in single-use plastic, but we still do the shampoo bottles, the ice cream containers that generally do get reused, but I think that's probably the worst kind of plastic that we do. And the balance of it is products that's for logistics like the crates and pallets, and our PVC hardware line is another small part. So that 30% we work directly with brands. We don't do it under our own brand. So that's an effort that we work with them to convert those slowly into more and more sustainable solutions. But internally we have a target to reach to triple our PCR consumption by 2025. So we started it in 2020. We were at 7% at that time. PCR is post-consumer recycled material. We were at 7%. Now we're at about 20% already. So we're trying to add more and more recycled onto products like this. But that's been a challenge because we don't do only black products. So color, Mark, we say that Mark has brought color into our lives since he joined. So that's to match like a nice bright red like that is really difficult in terms of the science and chemistry that goes into it. So
yes,
it's a work in progress.
Yes, yes, of course. Yeah, not much to add here. Just this is also a kind of another philosophical conversation, no? Because in Europe, for example, yes, many people think plastic, but in the end of the day, the single-use plastic is not going, as I always said, is not going alone to the floor, no? Not going alone to the sea. So here there is but as a company also we have a lot of homework to do also into educate the people about how to use materials, not just plastic, materials properly, because the human factor is there. So the human factor should be also aware of what's happened when you are doing like this, right, in a single-use plastic on that case, no? Because material as a material is an excellent material, but humans should take care of the use of the material.
Definitely.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Right. So how have you guys on this journey, do you guys think as a company you have pushed past just a product designing company and really strive for something further from there? Not just making products, but like, do you have an ethos of wanting to change perception of or change behavior in people with your products?
Yes. Maybe not easy to explain, but yes, of course. That's what I said. If you bring a new design and you want to explain a new story to the consumers, to the society, to the people, of course, also you are going to open another room on their minds, if you want to say, no? That maybe it's not there. Especially on the advertisement and graphic design side, no? If you want to say, because this is more graphic, no? This is also, it's like a product, no? Yes. But it's impactful the way you are showing your product. So yes, because also you can discover that there are many other ways to explain about a product, right? Then something new comes to you in terms of the behavior. Behavior in terms of the function of the products, yes, why not? Here we are exploring, and I think that we'll see new things on the coming years, no? At least also new for the Sri Lankan market from a Sri Lankan company.
Yes.
This is there, yes.
Agreed. I also think we've achieved a certain extent of it.
Right.
But there's a long way to go, I think. Yeah.
So Phoenix has been it is a company that really dedicates a lot to the local market. You say you're looking to go into that global market as well. How do you think you need to change the branding, your products to get that, really make that global impact?
So I think we've started that already. I think from the 2021 launch was the start of that. And everything that we do today is with that global consumer in mind. And we decided we are going to do the same communication here and elsewhere in the world. So we got a lot of pushback for that from the company itself. A lot of the internal team members were not really understanding what we were on about, actually. But I think it's been 2.5, 3 years now, and I think we have got good traction there internally. And a lot of the things we do is visual, so not much words. Ideally, it's emotional, and everyone should kind of get or feel something when they see our content.
Yes.
So we've got good and mediocre feedback from our export customers. For example, some customers in Dubai didn't really understand some of the shoots that we did. They felt that it was not upmarket enough for that clientele. But the US and Europe have loved it. So we might tweak a little bit here and there going forward, but we are still trying different things out. Yeah.
That's the thing, no? You can see, no? For one market, no? Two markets, no? US and Europe, they love, no? The way we are explaining our products, no? Then Dubai, not much.
Yeah.
That the risk is there, no? On the way you choose to explain about you, no? About you. But yeah, trying to do something iconical, if as much as possible. That's our idea, no? If it's not yes or not is in your side to evaluate it, but iconical in the sense that for some markets this cool looks really, if you want to say, tropical or exotic, no? But also this creates an approach on you as a Sri Lankan, no? Because this is something that you are used to see. Yes. Okay, so talks to both markets, I think in a good way. Yes, but yeah.
Actually, just to pick on something you just mentioned about perception of Sri Lankan branding. When you say Sri Lanka, you immediately think of coconut trees and beaches and the mountains and the waterfalls. Is that visual identity something you want to portray in your products, or especially for export markets, or are you looking at a different kind of Sri Lanka when you're exporting these products?
Yes and no at the same time. What to say? It's catching for the export markets, of course. That you want to say tropical mood, no? Yeah. It's not there at all, okay? Because also we are talking about the life on the street. We are talking about something that it's not. Maybe can be Sri Lanka or can be in Africa, no? This stool, we did a shoot in which we put a dancer on top, no? In the middle of nowhere, no? Of salt paddy fields. So this can be many places. In the end, it's to try to impact. It doesn't matter the market. It's to give an impact. If have a dot of our essence, of the roots of the company, of the roots of Phoenix, we think that always this should be there, because that's what the company is coming from, no? And it's good to explain, and it's good to highlight and not hide it. Okay, that's the yes.
So we talked a lot about the company, we talked a lot about the products, but as individuals going forward, looking 10, 20 years into the future, what kind of personal growth or goals do you want to see? I'm not talking about self-change or something like that, but something you really want to push for in those upcoming years.
I need to make sure Mark settles down in Sri Lanka. No pressure, Mark. No, but I think transforming Phoenix from a primarily local market dependent company to an export-led company is what most of my efforts will be in the next few years, hopefully. So that goes with everything else that comes with it. Mark, to retire near the factory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the coconut trees, as I said. No.
Lovely to hear. So, I mean, that's about all I really wanted to pique your minds about. Any from the audience want to talk to these brilliant designers and strategists? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. They've spent their time, instead of doing work, come here and talk to us, guys.
Office is very close by though, so can meet us anytime.
No, just Mark, like when you design, right, a product, you can like you do a market survey in terms of what the market wants, what kind of product that would sell, or is it just that you create it and then you expect to sell? I know you come from like the finance and the back end of it, but you're the creative side. So how do you put the creative and the profitability of the company? How does that DNA match?
It's to me, it's of course, it's a process to to observe in deep a society, the people, how the people is interacting with the products, what is there and what is not there on the market, what people used to see on the market. There are many things there, but of course have to always, this is here, and you should have this, in my opinion, in mind, in which environment you are diving. This means this, no, the market, the consumer, etc. So all is there, and this cocktail, shaking, in the end, then when it comes to an idea, then this idea, it's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we have a long discussions, no? And then, okay, that's what we think, that's what we think that we can bring, or that's the need, that's the need that we perceive on the market because something is not there. So, yeah, it's a couple of things. Yeah, not just this, if you want to say this hardcore observation of, okay, market survey, no? How many chairs you have, how many colors exist on these chairs, how many brands, this is there. It's always there in your mind. But mainly, okay, what the people is doing with these products. And maybe what they miss on these products. Talk to them also. That's very important, yes. That's a bit behind, yes.
So in your creative journey, you very much live in that society to understand, or how does your creative mindset understand what that target market wants?
Try to understand.
So how do you live that life? You go into their, how do you go into their minds? You know what
No.
they're demanding more.
Yeah. No, because
As
not.
a creative person, I want to know what your life is.
Yes.
How you get that message.
This, yes, it's to be good. It's to be curious. It's to be curious about the life of each others. You know, it's a bit is there. Sometimes you are a bit shy. You don't want to go through the life of each other because don't want to annoy you. Okay, but a bit to observe what are you doing, or what's your life way, lifestyle. What are you doing as a consumer? Yes, of course, there is a society, many different people and levels on the society, and have to be vigilant a bit on what, how each of these levels on the society, what they are doing, and how they are living, which things they have, which things they don't have, what you think that maybe they will desire or not, what you think that maybe they will need as a help on their daily lives. Of course, sometimes you are living a kind of life that is not the same like your consumers, okay? But you have to empathize mentally as much as possible with them and try to understand what's the environment. Yeah, yes, no, a bit.
I don't have too much advice because we haven't done much, honestly, yet. But what has worked for us is cold calling, so just linking up with embassies, all the different foreign ministry governments, and you can sign up for leads. So they just send, they call, I can connect you with those avenues also later. So they send you monthly bulletins of contacts of various procurement departments globally. So we just write mails to them, send our catalogs. That's like a daily activity that we have 2-3 people doing. And one thing that has really worked is related trade fairs. So we were at the hardware show in the US in January this year and had a lot of good leads there. And we went to another show in Japan that wasn't so good. So we are learning now what are the correct areas where people come looking for the kind of furniture you have, and then either visit those exhibitions or have a small stall as well if it's possible. And the EDB has been really helpful in helping Sri Lankan companies reserve a stall and setting up to help exports. Happy to have a chat with you later on that as well. Yeah.
Any more questions from the audience? We have a little bit more time. No? I have a question for you, Mark. Outside work, what's been your favorite thing about Sri Lanka?
Difficult to say. You know, that's true. As a foreigner,
Yes.
many people ask me, you like Sri Lanka or what's your favorite country, etc. I will say I will pick a bit of each and every country I were in my life. So in Sri Lanka I will pick a small thing from many places. But difficult to say one special thing. It's there are a lot of things there. Black and whites, okay, but that makes precious that thing that is Sri Lanka, no? In this sense, so many things I like. Difficult to say one. I like the how to say it. If you would say, I mean, a place to me, Manar, but many things. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I'm just going to keep this going a little bit more because we have that time. As Sri Lankans, we hear and see a lot of things on the TV, but there are so many more stories and people that we barely never get to hear about. You guys, I'm sure you've been a lot around the country, especially for shoots and things like that. What has been, like, I don't know if there's been any standalone people or stories that we don't get to hear about. Has there been any sort of experience like that where you've been like, okay, this isn't something I never even thought about, and this person just sort of relayed that to me? Has there been any experience like that? If I was to give you an example, so I'm a design student myself, so we went to Pittokotua, which is one of the biggest commercial district in Sri Lanka, especially for lower end range items. So a lot of people who can't afford to buy things off the shelves from the stores go there to get cheaper products. So there you get to see and hear a lot of very interesting narratives and stories that you would not even think about because you're not in that, because you don't live that life, right? So in that sense, have there been anything that you guys have been able to embed into your products from that angle?
Nothing specific coming to mind in those experiences, but definitely a lot of experiences, just day-to-day stuff that gets taken into the work that we do and the products that we create. We haven't done any shoots overseas yet. Don't give anyone any ideas. It's something we are negotiating. But yeah, it's hard for me to pick one or two stories like that that have carried over as a thing into products. A lot of stories though about the shoots and that reflect the kind of culture that we live in. I think the first, I don't know if you all are familiar with the photo that we have of the grandma and the son sitting on one of Mark's first products that he designed. There was a lot of pushback on the outfit that the grandmother was working from the photographer. So we had to outsource the photographer, but the ideas were in-house. So those were like learnings that we felt then that we needed to really partner with people that kind of understand the creative journey that we're on, so that those kinds of battles aren't there, and we don't really necessarily enjoy saying, no, it has to be done like this. So it's, that was an eye-opening moment for me because for me, like that shoot made so much sense. It had to be done like that. I was not expecting any pushback from a creative agency on that.
Right.
So that was there, but we've come a long way since then. Lot of things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for letting me pick your mind about a lot of different things and telling a lot of... Sorry, there's one question. Lovely.
Two questions actually.
Okay.
One is when you talk about the shift as it was, and you're talking a lot about internal dynamics in you. How did you go about that change? I think the internal mindset in itself, you're talking about the brand, others growing, fundamentally changing the brand, but also on this aspect that we need to be curious to explore. How do you tackle that problem? That being my first question. My second question is, when you were approaching the domestic market and you were also focusing on the export or the external market, how did you all approach that? That's the thing, when you were looking at the domestic market, you were quite concerned about how to approach it as well. What was the strategy or what was the overall outlook when you considered the export market? Or was it kind of more a trial and error phase that we will see what sticks and then, my two questions around that.
Yeah. So I think we're still tackling that first one, changing the mindsets. It took me probably 6 to 8 months and a lot of white hair to come to the realization that it's going to take time. So once I convinced myself of that, and Mark, you and me have had countless discussions, it's going to take time. So that's really something that I've had to tell myself, because we are both quite impatient inherently. So that's a work in progress, and I think really sitting with all the other functional heads and the influencers in the company and trying to make them buy into what we're doing or see their thoughts, listen to them. So lot of conversations, and I think shipping out a few containers to foreign countries has been a dream for the company for so many years. So actually realizing that has helped us as well. So I think a lot of those challenges are now that we're seeing a lot more alignment now that the products have actually gone. And in terms of the strategy, when Mark joined, we said everything that we do has to fit the local market, but also exports. Because I'm sure what works for exports will work here in the product lines that we are in. For example, this chair does well in both markets. And we were not sure about it. There were a lot of questions. When the first sample came to the factory, everyone was like not even approaching it.
Yes.
They were like waiting about like this distance. Kota vadine, like it's too short, it looks too small. So, but we also didn't realize from the entire collection, this has done the best in both markets. So, yeah, it's. You want to add to that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. And also interesting because for us, but also that we have discussed it many times, Anam, is that products, I mean, to me it's very difficult to think in a local market and export market.
Yeah.
To me, all is the same. All is the same market. So why we have to differentiate? Okay, why this is local and this is export? No, this is a product. You have to see it. You are sitting in Sri Lanka, you are sitting in Barcelona. No? Then, I mean, the need is the same. So, do you know what I want to say? So there is no difference. The only difference is here. If you feel that this is different, this is new, I'm scared about this, like Anam said, no? But in the end of the day, the product is the same for all of us. Then this is there. Just want to say this, in this sense, yes.
Any more questions before we... Did they ask both of your questions? Yes, sir. All right, lovely. Any more questions?
I would say it's a similar segment, no?
Yes.
Because we approach it very simply, and we say, actually Mark said a folding chair is a thing that you see in any house in global markets, and here you would only see the wooden versions very rarely, and they're quite bulky. So as soon as he said it, it clicked me also, it has to work here. So that's kind of how it's a decision like that is made in one discussion, and then we decide to try it. So I think it's
the same.
we don't have any research on market segmentation or any of that. Unfortunately, we are not that advanced.
Also, to me sometimes, and that's our opinion also, that market segmentation, of course, it's there. But you take experience that I had, for example, from Barcelona, it's in IKEA, no? For example, IKEA is a low quality, low price for us, no? In Europe, for example. But many people, it doesn't matter your socioeconomic level, you're going there to buy something because this is something that you need or you like. So in that sense, the segmentation, of course, is there, but then you are trying to crack a bit that segmentation. If you can, creating something that people can say, okay, it's a bit iconical. It's a bit what Anam said at the beginning, no? People will go to the shop and ask for a Phoenix product. So in the end, that's what we are trying to do. If it's there or not, it's in you guys, but then that's the idea, no? If it's something iconical, that segmentation jumps a bit to the air, no? Because it's something that maybe you like, that guy on the street also likes. It doesn't matter what's your part of the segment, no? That's a bit also the idea also. Yeah.
Just to add to that, I think when we had to do briefs for agencies, whenever they asked us the target market, Mark and I say everyone. They get highly annoyed with us. So it's a very short brief. It's everyone. We are designed for life. Everyone's daily use, and that's the brief.
It's very democratic. It's really democratic, no? I mean, and should be like that, no? It's for everyone. I mean, maybe you have to save, or maybe you can't buy it now, no? But maybe you like it, and that's something that you want, no? In our products and others also, no? And maybe you can buy it now, but what is common to you and the other person is that you want it. So if we can arrive to that I want it, then that's the interesting thing for us. Yeah, that's it.
So on the sustainability side, would you see your company like saying, you can come and give all this plastic and buy a new version of this chair, something like that going forward, because that would help, like maybe contain the plastic use, you take it back, you give a new chair for that, something like that. I mean, really think about it.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, we are launching that in the Valisura showroom, which was our first showroom, is under renovation now. We're opening it on the 12th. If anyone's free, please drop in. So there we're actually starting our first buyback program. So that'll, in the next few months, it'll follow. But if you come there, you'll see there's a green container that's going to accept old chairs, old ice cream containers, and we'll use that back into our production. Yeah. Thanks.
How long did it take to design this chair?
Okay. The first step is to put the idea into an iPad, no, into a sketchbook. This, in terms of time, difficult to say, but maybe it depends of your day. You know? That's the truth. When you have the clear way to go, the clear path to go, then it depends of how is that day, no, in you. But it can be one month, maybe, I don't know, sketching, then refining, checking, this, yes, no, all these things. Then engineering part, it's about 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, yeah, 3 to 4 weeks. And then, of course, have to work with the mold makers, then do the samples and all the process to do one chair, to create this chair and to have the first unit done. It's about 6 months, no?
Yeah.
6 months, 5 to 6 months. Yeah, or the whole process, yes. From the sketchbook to the day that you can sit there on top, 6 months, you can imagine, yeah.
Any more questions? All right. Thank you guys so much for this enlightening discussion. Can we please give a round of applause to Mark and Anna?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you.
It's our first one that we've done like this. It was a lot of fun.
I'm happy to hear
Thanks.
that.